Greetings traveler, I am Akira, a representative of the Twilight Society and the curator of these tales. Today, we will embark on a journey which is reborn as Deku with a System Part 2. As always, if you want to support the creator of these works, their Patreon and story link will be in the description. Now, without further ado, buckle up and enjoy the story.
Chapter 22 Showing the World. Hundreds of kids were getting ready. The day that would change their future had arrived. They could either become someone or stay cannon fodders for the rest of their lives. And all of this because of an exam, the UA entrance exam. At the entrance thought everyone had a face of worry, not anxiety for the test but actual worry. Why, you might think? Because of the 1.85 meters tall bulky dude with green hairs collected in a ponytail, deep green eyes, with headphones blasting music so hard it could be heard from the outside, doing absolutely nothing apart from waiting. Then why are they worried? Because of the aura covering this guy. Most of the kids here had at least seen a villain once in their life, and the thing that scared them wasn't their look, but the aura that they emanated. The one emanating from the guy was similar but not equal. As some of you already understood, this guy is Izuku, and I am currently looking at my status. But to not attract attention, I am holding my phone. Info. Name, Izuku Midoriya. Age, 17. Race, human. Class, Guardian, Berserker, Avenger, Martial Artist. Stats. Strength, 66. Growth x3. Endurance, 67. Growth x3. Dexterity, 40. Agility, 60. Growth x3. Intelligence, 45. Wisdom, 30. Growth x2. Willpower, 40-5 plus 5. Charisma, 20. Plus 5, Perception, 31. Skills, Trees, Quest, Gacha, 26. Current obtainable classes: Artist, Observer, Slave, Martial Artist bot, Berserker bot, Guardian bot, Avenger bot, Warrior due to all the weapons masteries, Thief, Scholar, current class points 0, Slave, Dungeon Explorer, Rookie Hero, upgradable. Saved 31/100. Skills: Auxiliary. Observe LV.50, Drawing LV.20, Running LV. Max, Speed Reading LV.67, Tracker LV.45, Silver Tongue LV. Max, Driving LV. Max, Taunting LV. Max, Imitation LV. Max, Mathematics LV.65, Science LV.70, Chemistry LV.45, Medicine LV.64, New, Sneak LV. Max. Parkour LV. Max, Sense Acuity LV.68, Cooking L.V40, New, Piano Mastery LV.10, New, Dancing LV.30, New. Guardian Class Skills: Hard Bones LV.90, Stomp LV.66, Rock Steady LV. Max, Recovery LV. Max, Shout LV10, Shoulder Dash LV.54, Basic Self-Heal LV.70, Bash LV.33, Holy Strike LV.45, Hard Skin LV.45, Imposing Presence LV.40, New, 100 points. Martial Artist Class Skills: Martial Arts LV.50, Instantaneous Movement LV.30, New, 30 points. Avenger Class Skills: Avenging Strike LV.76, Back from the Dead LV.21, Sweet Damage LV.40, New, 50 points. Berserker Class Skills: Rage LV.33, Bloodsteel LV.10, Intimidating Presence LV.50, Tear LV.40, Absorption LV.20, New, 100 points. Fighting Skills: Sword Mastery LV.60, Shield Mastery LV.60, Spear Mastery LV.70, Battle Focus LV.50, Axe Mastery LV.50, New, Dagger Mastery LV.50, New, Blunt Weapon Mastery LV.50, New, Handgun Mastery LV.50, Strategy LV.30, New, Battle Instincts LV.40, New, Counter LV.20, New. Resistances: Pain Resistance LV.90, Holy Damage Resistance LV.40. Trees: Guardian, Berserker, Avenger, Martial Artist. Points, 256. I still can't be compared to other heroes or villains like All for One, All Might, or even Stars and Strips. but I still can hold my ground against street-level villains. And considering how this test should be, I can get in 1A easily. I also considered doing the secluded entrance exam, the same as Shoto and Momo, but I was scared that the quest reward from the UA entrance exam wouldn't be given, so I decided to do it the normal way. I also decided to not use gacha or spend too many of my tree points since I didn't want to have more skills than already had and instead level up the ones I already possessed, buying only important ones, like absorption that powers damage received while in rage or sweet damage that heals me while dealing damage. Most of the other skills were either obtained through reading books or fighting against Mirko, which I still get clapped by, or against sparring partners chosen by her. There wasn't a fight where I didn't get at least one injury, but with my current endurance and basic self-heal, I can heal minor injuries in 1 or 2 hours, severe though might require some more time. I finally closed my status window, ready for what was about to come. I knew I had aced the written entrance exam, so I only need to complete this step and I'd become the first quirkless hero trainee and rub it on everyone's face. I decide to tune out everyone's stare using sense acuity, and only concentrate on my music while walking towards the entrance to get my ticket for the exam area. Inside the auditorium, President Mike could be seen explaining how the exam would go, while I could see an ash-blonde Pomeranian just waiting for a fight, and a blue-haired guy just wishing to annoy people. Everything went like the anime, and I expected to not be called this time, but something different happened. "And you green-haired guy, turn off your quirk, everyone is feeling anxious because of it." I looked at him, wondering how I should deal with him. I know his character, but honestly, I don't have the patience nor the care to do anything, so I simply ignore him. He was about to call me again, but President Mike interrupted and answered Ida's question, defusing the bomb that could have exploded. Next, we were led to our respective areas. I could feel Bakugo's stare pointing directly at me, but I ignored him, knowing well this will only anger him more. After changing to more comfortable clothes, martial arts pants, a tight t-shirt that didn't hinder my movements, no shoes, and some bandages on my hands, my space bracelet, nothing more, nothing less. I received some weird stares due to my scares, both the Burns ones and the bears, but no one had the courage to approach me. No one apart from Ida, of course. "You are still keeping it on. How can you call yourself a hero by making everyone anxious?" I looked at him wondering if I should tell him, and then I decided to tell him. The exam started. "Stay out!" shouted President Mike. "I am quirkless," I told him. I immediately activated the instantaneous step, making me move 30 meters in just 1 second. It's time to show the world what I truly made of. Chapter 22, Showing the World. Hundreds of kids were getting ready. The day that would change their future had arrived. They could either become someone or stay cannon fodders for the rest of their lives. And all of this because of an exam, the UA entrance exam. At the entrance thought everyone had a face of worry, not anxiety for the test but actual worry. Why, you might think? Because of the 1.85 meters tall bulky dude with green hairs collected in a ponytail, deep green eyes, with headphones blasting music so hard it could be heard from the outside, doing absolutely nothing apart from waiting. Then why are they worried? Because of the aura covering this guy. Most of the kids here had at least seen a villain once in their life, and the thing that scared them wasn't their look, but the aura that they emanated. The one emanating from the guy was similar but not equal. As some of you already understood, this guy is Izuku, and I am currently looking at my status. But to not attract attention, I am holding my phone. Info. Name, Izuku Midoriya. Age, 17. Race, human. Class, Guardian, Berserker, Avenger, Martial Artist. Stats. Strength, 66, Growth x3, Endurance, 67, Growth x3, Dexterity, 40. Agility, 60, Growth x3, Intelligence, 45, Wisdom, 30, Growth x2. Willpower, 40-5 plus 5, Charisma, 20, plus 5, Perception, 31. Skills, Trees, Quest, Gacha, 26. Current obtainable classes: Artist, Observer, Slave, Martial Artist bot, Berserker bot, Guardian bot, Avenger bot, Warrior due to all the weapons masteries, Thief, Scholar, current class points 0, Slave, Dungeon Explorer, Rookie Hero upgradable, saved 31/100. Skills, Auxiliary, Observe LV.50, Drawing LV.20, Running LV, Max, Speed Reading LV.67, Tracker LV.45, Silver Tongue LV, Max, Driving LV, Max, Taunting LV, Max, Imitation LV, Max, Mathematics LV.65, Science LV.70, Chemistry LV.45, Medicine LV.64, New, Sneak LV, Max, Parkour LV, Max, Sense Acuity LV.68, Cooking L.V40, New, Piano Mastery LV.10, New, Dancing LV.30, New, Guardian Class Skills, Hard Bones LV.90, Stomp LV.66, Rocksteady LV, Max, Recovery LV, Max, Shout LV10, Shoulder Dash LV.54, Basic Self Heal LV.70, Bash LV.33, Holy Strike LV.45, Hard Skin LV.45, Imposing Presence LV.40, New, 100 points. Martial Artist Class Skills, Martial Arts LV.50, Instantaneous Movement LV.30, New, 30 points. Avenger Class Skills, Avenging Strike LV.76, Back from the Dead LV.21, Sweet Damage LV.40, New, 50 points. Berserker Class Skills, Rage LV.33, Bloodsteel LV.10, Intimidating Presence LV.50, Tear LV.40, Absorption LV.20, New, 100 points. Fighting Skills, Sword Mastery LV.60, Shield Mastery LV.60, Spear Mastery LV.70, Battle Focus LV.50, Axe Mastery LV.50, New, Dagger Mastery LV.50, New, Blunt Weapon Mastery LV.50, New, Handgun Mastery LV.50, Strategy LV.30, New, Battle Instincts LV.40, New, Counter LV.20, New. Resistances, Pain Resistance LV.90, Holy Damage Resistance LV.40. Trees, Guardian, Berserker, Avenger, Martial Artist. Points, 256. I still can't be compared to other heroes or villains like All for One, All Might, or even Stars and Strips, but I still can hold my ground against street-level villains. And considering how this test should be, I can get in 1A easily. I also considered doing the secluded entrance exam, the same as Shoto and Momo, but I was scared that the quest reward from the UA entrance exam wouldn't be given, so I decided to do it the normal way. I also decided to not use gacha or spend too many of my tree points since I didn't want to have more skills than already had and instead level up the ones I already possessed, buying only important ones, like Absorption that powers damage received while in Rage or Sweet Damage that heals me while dealing damage. Most of the other skills were either obtained through reading books or fighting against Mirko, which I still get clapped by, or against sparring partners chosen by her. There wasn't a fight where I didn't get at least one injury, but with my current endurance and basic self-heal, I can heal minor injuries in 1 or 2 hours, severe though might require some more time. I finally closed my status window, ready for what was about to come. I knew I had aced the written entrance exam, so I only need to complete this step and I'd become the first quirkless hero trainee and rub it on everyone's face. I decide to tune out everyone's stare using sense acuity and only concentrate on my music while walking towards the entrance to get my ticket for the exam area. Inside the auditorium, President Mike could be seen explaining how the exam would go, while I could see an ash-blonde Pomeranian just waiting for a fight, and a blue-haired guy just wishing to annoy people. Everything went like the anime, and I expected to not be called this time, but something different happened. And you green-haired guy, turn off your quirk, everyone is feeling anxious because of it. I looked at him, wondering how I should deal with him. I know his character, but honestly, I don't have the patience nor the care to do anything, so I simply ignore him. He was about to call me again, but President Mike interrupted and answered Ida's question, defusing the bomb that could have exploded. Next, we were led to our respective areas. I could feel Bakudo's stare pointing directly at me, but I ignored him, knowing well this will only anger him more. After changing to more comfortable clothes, martial arts pants, a tight t-shirt that didn't hinder my movements, no shoes, and some bandages on my hands, my space bracelet, nothing more, nothing less. I received some weird stares due to my scares, both the Burns ones and the bears, but no one had the courage to approach me. No one apart from Ida, of course. You are still keeping it on. How can you call yourself a hero by making everyone anxious? I looked at him wondering if I should tell him, and then I decided to tell him. The exam started. Stay art, shouted President Mike. I am quirkless, I told him. I immediately activated the instantaneous step, making me move 30 meters in just 1 second. It's time to show the world what I truly made of. Chapter 23: Saving the Chick with Style. Inside a dim room, several heroes in the UAD could be seen watching at several screens. On each screen, different scenarios of different exam areas were being broadcasted. "This year is surely filled with talented people," the mouse bear dog Dean said with a cup of tea in his left hand. "The contestants use weak quirks efficiently or have strong enough quirks to not care about precision," Vlad King said with a smile. Inside the room, apart from these, 2 other UA staff members were looking at the entrance exam, and between them, a buffy blonde hero was too distracted to hear what they were saying. His eyes fully focused on one beast with green hairs simply trashing robots around. Did he lie to me? Was he not quirkless? How can he be so strong? Would I have made a better decision if I gave it to him? "What's gotten into you?" Aizawa asked after touching All Might's shoulder. All Might didn't answer, but by looking at where his eyes were pointing, Aizawa saw he was seeing and was surprised to see a kid at least expert level in martial arts, only using his hands to fight against the robots. "Who is that kid?" "That is my protege," a feminine voice said from behind everyone, followed by the sliding door closing behind her. "Your protege? This is new. What's his quirk?" Before Mirko could answer, Niza had already pulled up Izuku's medical record and application letter. "He is quirkless." The room feels silent at the revelation. All Might's face darkened at the possibility of him returning, but eliminated the thoughts, thinking he was already gone for good. "That's impossible. How can a quirkless kid be this strong?" Vlad King almost shouted, trying to sound the least unrespectful as possible. "Say what you want, but I have already made him go through a test to see if he had a case of late quirk bloom, but nothing, he is still quirkless." Of course, Mirko didn't say how his muscle was in a constant state of growth, of how his bones had reached a point where basically nothing could break them, how every aspect of his body and mind were growing at a monstrous rate. That was something that would remain between hero and protege. "Well, we will surely have an interesting year," Niza said, a sick smile slowly appearing on his face. "I used my shoulder to take the punch of the robot and counterattack with a kick on his abandoned. The hit, thanks to both the effective counter and avenging strike, made me able to easily pierce the armor of the robot and destroy him in one hit. More and more robots came just for me. Why were they exactly coming for me? Shout works for machines too apparently, so under their radar, I became a being that must be defeated. But the more arrived, the stronger I got. The more hit I received, the stronger my next would be. The more I could last, the more I could destroy. During the exchange, I had taken advantage of one of the contestants' quirks, which evoked tubes of metal from the ground, to have an improvised spear, which made my attack power greater than before. Just as I was about to pierce the head of another robot, the earth began to rumble, and a shout could be heard everywhere inside the exam area. "The zero-pointer has been released." Aware of the blood, I take quick care of the robot by crushing its head and looking around to find Uraraka. And similar to the original script here, she was under some debris. Activating instantaneous movement, I was already above her, and with one quick jab, I crushed the debris under where she was. I quickly pulled her out, and used again instantaneous movement to barely evade the zero-pointer from stepping on us. I spammed the skill again and again, and when I met Ida about to escape, I appeared in front of him. Before he could talk, I threw Uraraka to him, and spoke to him. "Pull her to safety." I didn't wait for an answer and headed again for the zero-pointers. This will surely anger Aizawa. He might think what I am doing is stupid, but I am doing it to prove a point. When the zero-pointer radar got my location, it began moving at a surprising speed and threw a fist towards me. Using my makeshift spear, I launched myself above the ground and landed on his fist after it had stopped right before the ground. I spammed instantaneous movement, which was starting to put a serious toll on my muscles, and appeared right in front of his face. I instantly activate Rage, Tear, and Holy Strike. A demonic smile appeared on my face while a dense red and white aura, invisible to all humans, and started tearing the machine apart. Piece after piece starting from its eyes, which were made from normal glass, I started crushing circuits, pulling cables, and burning other important parts with Holy Strike. In just 10 seconds I was already fully inside the zero-pointer head. The exam had finished. Just as those words came out of President Mick's mouth, the zero-pointer stopped moving, now standing like a statue. But just 1 second later it began falling down with me inside. I readied myself from the incoming hit and... boom. Most of the medical staff had already rushed inside the area, worried about my state. But just as they had arrived at the body of the zero-pointer, a hand made quick work of its armor, creating a hole big enough to fit a body. While covered in blood, an arm in a weird shape, and the other shoulder dislocated, I got out of the zero-pointer with a smile. I had proved my point. I had shown the civilians, the heroes, and the world that Quirkless can fucking fight back. Just as I was to continue moving, though, I was immediately stopped by a small granny shouting at me. Maybe not against old people, though. Chapter 24 Meeting. Flashback no jutsu. Why are you doing this? Rumi asked after giving me a bottle of water. Doing what? I asked her while getting back in its place a broke finger with no reaction. All of this, training to your bones, fighting like your life depends on it, trying to learn everything you can. Honestly, it started as a way to survive. I was a red of this world and just wanted to be strong enough to beat the major villains in this world, but now it's different. As you know, I am Quirkless Dash. You can't exactly call yourself Quirkless anymore, but I will let it pass. I ignored her and continued. But thanks to my raising strength, people either look at me with fear or hate. But what if I get so strong that no people can hate me? So strong they can only feel fear, not only for me but for all Quirkless people. Don't tell me you want to become Dash Dot. I want to become the symbol for the Quirkless. You idiot of a kid, do you even know how dangerous that was? A small old lady shouted while walking towards me. I recognized her and knew her quirk, and as much as I love her character, I do not wish for a kiss from a random grandma. I activate basic self-heal, and with a quick pull, my shoulder gets back in place. Next came the arm, and I used the same technique. The gruesome sound of bones shifting made everyone shiver, and the grandma started running even faster. By the time she was in front of me, she started inspecting my arm and shoulder, and was surprised to find them in perfect state. How did you do it? A lot of pain resistance, hard bones, and knowledge of the human body. Any other injuries? None that are too dangerous for my health. I might have some very deep cuts, but they will be healed by tomorrow, and I have had much worse. Then you can go, I guess. Let me tell you something, you are scary, she said with a smile. I will take that as a compliment. What the fuck was that? Vlad almost shouted. That is pure willpower and training, Rumi said with a proud smile visible on her face. That doesn't explain anything. How can he be this? He said while pointing at Izuku. You are hiding something, I assume, Nisa said after taking a sip from his tea. Sure am. Will you tell us? I don't have to tell you, he does, Rumi said soon after leaving the room. How is this possible? Vlad said while scratching his head. Well, from a point of view, he is similar to Aizawa. Even though his quirk has no effect on his body, he was able to train his body to be comparable to weaker strength or speed quirks holders. After years of training, Aizawa interrupted, still curious as to why All Might seemed so scared. You all seem to forget that apart from quirks, there are other types of possible body alterations. Quirks are common, but there exist people who have muscles much denser than others, bones more durable, and reflexes faster than even animals. For now, we can only assume he has all of this. Dash, Nisa said while clicking on a button. On the screen, the result of Izuku's written exam was shown, with a score of 500 out of 500. Plus a very sharp mind. So we got on our hands another All Might, Vlad said. Oh, he is much scarier. Why is that? I think he won't hold back, Nisa said while looking at All Might. Get in UA. Goal: get selected to become part of Class 1A. Bonus goal: get first place. Reward: 10 gacha tickets, slave title removal. Bonus reward: 1 gacha, power, ticket. Time limit: 1 month until the UA exam. Status: complete. Reward: 10 gacha tickets, slave title removal. Bonus reward: 1 gacha ticket, power. All the effects of the slave title have been removed. With a large smile, I get out of the exam area and was about to get out when I was stopped by a voice. Izuku. Asterisks, I should have expected this meeting. I turned towards where the voice came to see a pink-skinned girl looking at me with eyes filled with different emotions: regret, fear, sadness, happiness, and some other I couldn't understand. Good to see you, Mina, I told her with no emotions. I wasn't angry, not anymore at least, but neither was I the happiest man alive for meeting her. I won't crawl back to her, and we will our own lives. Repairing our relationship isn't my main objective. I dash. Hey you, a feminine voice said. I turned to the voice to see Uraraka rushing towards me, her ankle fully healed and a smile on her face. When she was in front of me, she breathed heavily for a second, and then began speaking. "I wanted Asterisk to thank you for saving me," she said with a bright smile. At the word saving, Mina cringed, maybe imagining what I must have done to save her. "No worries, I simply did what I thought was right. Surely couldn't let you be stepped on by that big robot." "That was still cool thought. If I can ask, what's your quirk?" "I am quirkless." Her smile changed to a frown. "That? How? Should I take that as an insult?" "Oh my god, and oh, sorry, I meant... I don't know what to say." She panicked at the implication of doing a hate crime. "Don't worry, I know what you meant. Was just playing with you." "You mean it?" she said while hitting my shoulder, fortunately not the injured one. I turned to where Mina was, but no trace of her could be seen. "Did I interrupt you?" "No, we had finished talking." Chapter 25. Time to pull some gotchas. After chatting a little longer with Uraraka, we parted ways and I headed to my house. During the walk, though, I didn't stay idle and pulled up my status screen, clicking on the gotcha section, ready to use 37 tickets and hoping that something good pops up. 36 random gotcha tickets have been used. 1 random power gotcha ticket has been used. Random. You have gained 10 health potions. You have gained 1 Napoli's pizza. You have gained the skill Turbo LV.1. Turbo LV.1. Your legs aren't human anymore, but the definition of the perfect car. When starting a run, you will start at 10 plus skill level, % of max speed with no need for momentum. You have gained the function map. Shows all the places you have already visited with as much detail as possible. This means that if you have roughly searched an area, you will see it perfectly. If you just glimpsed at it, it will appear with little to no details. Areas not visited will be covered in fog. You have gained 3 random dungeon generators. You have gained 1 onion armor helmet, Sid Meier's 1. Reduces damage received to the head by 20%, and augments stamina consumption by 20%. You have gained 5 pieces of glass. You have gained the headdress of Magnificent Rock X5. A headdress made of magnificent rocks has no effect apart from maybe looking cool and making the head heavy. You have gained an ancient crown. This old crown belonged to the king of a fallen kingdom, said to be able to slay entire kingdoms with a swing. He died due to betrayal. When worn, the ghost of the king will be seen and can be spoken to by the wearer. You have gained weak attributes gemstones X8. When used, the random stat will be raised by a random number between 1 to 10. Power. Peak human body regen LV. Max. Each point in endurance will give a triple boost to health regen, and can heal damaged organs, organ failures, and other conditions related to internal organs. Wow, most of these things are useful. Just the attributes gemstone can be very powerful. The possibility of gaining 80 stats points is nothing to underestimate. Plus the map function, the turbo skill, the dungeon generators. All of these things are us. The only incognita is the ancient crown. Who could it belong to? And damn, was I lucky with the power pull. If I had pulled something like fire manipulation, I wouldn't have been able to use it without raising questions. I stored everything inside my bracelet, which is almost reaching its full capacity. Some cleanup must be done, and headed for one of the alleys. I took out one of the attribute gemstones, and a rainbow-colored gemstone appeared in my hand. The moment it touched my hand, the very simple knowledge of how to use it appeared in my mind. Just need to crush, pretty straightforward. I followed the instructions and crushed all 8 attribute stone. These were the result. First, plus 5 endurance. Second, plus 4 wisdom. Third, plus 6 intelligence. Fourth, plus 3 dexterity. Fifth, plus 8 perception. Sixth, plus 2 strength. Seventh, plus 6 strength. 8, plus 2 intelligence. All stats were picked by a while, and numbers by Google. That's some shitty numbers, 36 out of 80, guess I can't complain though. The usual rush of power arrived, but this time it hit like a truck, too many changes in just a single moment. My body felt heavier than light, and my mind hurt like hell, then it felt sharper than ever. A minute later the feeling disappeared and I was back to normal, just stronger, more intelligent, and nimbler. Not being able to check any other item out here, I rushed home, and after a quick talk with my mother about how it went, and eating the pizza I had bought, I rushed into my room and took all the important items. I took out the onion helmet, and it looked like a pressed onion just like in the game, and it was very heavy, maybe around 50 kilograms. Guess heavy armors aren't just for show then. I checked the map function and it worked just like the system explained. For example, my room was very detailed while UA was mostly blurred apart for the exam area. I tried the turbo skill by rushing from room end to the other. It was very cool to start running from a completely idle state. I even checked the headdress, disappointing if I can say so. They are designed like Indian ones and are made of glass, calleth magnificent rock. Last but not least, the turn of the ancient crown. I took it out, and the rustiest European-styled crown I had ever seen appeared in my mind. In the middle of the crown, holes where some sorts of gems are supposed to be inserted could be seen, but apart from this, no more details could be seen, too rusted to still be standing. I hesitantly put it in my head, and the first thing I heard is a scream that almost made my ears bleed. Next thing I saw was a transparent man wearing a long coat with heavy European-styled armor, a very cool sword on his side, golden hair, beard, and eyes, just looking at me. "So you are the one that found my crown," he said with a distorted voice that made it impossible to understand. "What?" He stayed silent for a second or two and then began speaking again. "Been a while since I talked to living being," I said, "so you are the one who found my crown." "I am. What's your name?" "I am the King of England, the holder of Excalibur, the dragon in human skin. I am Arthur Uther Pendragon. I already know your name and my situation. I knew of other dimensions, but a whole new universe is truly a fascinating concept." "What do you mean?" "From the information I received when I came in contact with you, this universe is different from mine. Here mages do not exist and powers come from something called quirks, being someone's social status on something that is not controllable by them. What has the world fallen to?" he said while shaking his head. "Mages? Did Hogwarts exist in your world? You know it?" Color me surprised. "Yes, it did. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to fully see its growth due to..." He didn't continue. A flash of anger in his eyes could be seen. "Your betrayal. I won't ask further. You can talk if you want, but I am not here to question you. I was just curious who this powerful king could be." "No worries, kid. But now that you have my crown, I guess you qualify to become the next king of England." "The what?" I asked, my eyes bulging at the statement. "King of England, you got my crown. It doesn't matter how you have it. That places you as the closet being to becoming the true King of England in my home universe." "Shouldn't I? I don't know, pass a king test?" "You already did. If the crown deemed you unworthy, we wouldn't have been able to talk. You would have seen me but not heard me." "A hero becoming King of England. What's next?" "I become the next Hokage?" Chapter 26, first time wielding a sword. "So what can you do?" I asked Arthur, curious what an overpowered King of England could do. "Glad you asked. Apart from being a master tactician, a master in leadership, I have almost reached the peak of swordsmanship. And even though I am not at Merlin's level, yeah, in this story Merlin is stronger than those that created Hogwarts. Because fucking yes. And it makes sense. I have my experience with my universe magic." "Do I have the talent for magic?" I asked the question that several teens always wished for an answer to. "Well, from what I know, you can gain something skills that represent your knowledge, and based on those skills you can unlock classes, which are your main root of power. So if I can give you enough magical knowledge that places you at the level of a magician, you could gain a class for it and become one. Otherwise it would be nearly impossible for you to learn due to the different constitution between our universes." "Makes sense. But I think I won't study magic for quite a while. I'd rather solidify what I am already good at than branch into another completely different fighting style. Becoming a magician warrior sounds cool, but becoming an unbreakable wall that can kill things with a sword is easier to achieve." "Good decision. I can't decide for you, but I can assure you that is the best decision. Do you have somewhere we can train without either being seen or interrupted?" I nodded and removed the crown. For the image of the crown, think of the Espada one but rusty and without the gems, and string it inside my bracelet. I decide to wear my everyday training clothing while messaging Rumi that I won't be coming today, deciding to take today as a rest day. I kissed my mother goodbye and started running towards my usual spot in the forest. When my agility reached 10, I had an average speed of 5 meters per second, but due to it being 50 points higher, I have an average speed of 30 meters per second. Usain Bolt had an average of 10.44 meters per second, which means I am 3 times faster than the previous golden medal holder in my world. To that you need to add the effect of my running skill, which is currently a max level. So it boosts my speed by 100% and lowers my stamina consumption by 99.9%, can't be 100 or would break reality. Meaning that my current speed while running is 60 meters per second. If I activate rage it goes even higher. I am slowly becoming a broken character. Good. It took me 1 minute to reach the area, no changes in my breath. And not needing to take a break, I took out the crown and started talking again with Arthur. "Took less than expected," he said while looking around. "Reminds me of the hill where I played as a kid with." The phrase remained unfinished. "Take out a training sword and show me what you can do." I did as he said and took out my rock sword, which now weighed almost nothing to me. I began showing off the swordsmanship I had learned from fighting against the tree. No finesse or that type of bullshit. I hit to maim or kill. Aiming at weak spots and joints is the main point of it. More reading on instincts than anything else. By the time I had finished, the tree fell, my swordsmanship finally being high enough that the rock sword can be considered a normal sword. Not a very sharp one though. To my surprise, I also gained a point in STR. Lucky. That was terrific, not in a bad way. Swordsmanship has always varied from person to person. There are those who rely on speed or dexterity and those who rely on strength and endurance. But yours seems to rely on experience, strength, endurance, speed, and instinct. Your movements seemingly the ones of a ravenous beast ready to feast on his enemies, and I have the swordsmanship right for you. With a swipe of his hand, an ethereal book appeared in his hand. It flew towards my face and the words, "Beast among humans." The book opened and a flash of information filled my mind. An headache tried to form in my head, but my pain resistance nullified it, so I was able to absorb all the information as soon as it got inside my mind. Thanks to the exposure to a swordsmanship manual, the Sword Mastery LV.60 skill has changed to the skill Beast Among Humans LV.60. Due to the new skill, the class Warrior changed to Beast Warrior. Highly recommended to buy this class. Beast Among Humans LV.60. Your sword is your fangs. Your body is filled with hidden power that rivals those of beasts, ready to tear enemies apart and slice their heads off. You are no human with a sword in hand. You are a beast ready to feast while holding a sword. Attack power, attack speed, reaction time, accuracy, flexibility, sword sharpness, and sense will be boosted by 20+ skill level. I closed my eyes, and a minute later I reopened them. A sharpness not present before could be felt in them. With one quick step and a swing of my sword, a deep cut on a tree appeared. Something that would have required me 3 or 4 slashes previously now was done in one. Just as the sword had passed the tree, I twist my body, kicking the tree with enough strength to make it fall to the ground. A big smile from on my face at the show of strength. Good, but still not good enough. You need to grow more attached to it to show its full potential. I turn towards Arthur, happy to have met him, and I take out from my bracelet what looks like a rusty key. It's good that I have just the thing I need to become good at it. A random dungeon generator had been used. Chapter 27, Second Dungeon. The dungeon, Wolf Nightmare, has been generated. The quest, Wolf's Mortal Enemy, has been generated. Wolf's Mortal Enemy. Goal 1, kill all wolves. Goal 2, kill the alpha. Bonus goal? Reward 1, X10 random tickets, X5 weak attributes gemstones. Reward 2, X1 random ticket, equipment, X1 attribute gemstones. Bonus reward? The scenario around me changed and formed the forest I already knew like the back of my palm. I find myself in the middle of a completely new forest with trees with black leaves and purple-colored grass. I find it somehow hard to see due to the very dark shaded colors, but fortunately, my sense is sharper than the normal human, and after I got used to them I was able to see, but not as well as I would do in a normal forest. Still wearing the crown, I whisper something at Arthur. Do you perhaps know how to wield a bow? I sure do, but I can't be called an expert. I know the basics. Here, let me show you. And just like the sword manual, a set of information filled my mind. You have gained the skill Bow Mastery LV.10. Why fight in melee when you shoot arrows to the knees? Boosts precision, drawing speed, piercing power, and impact strength by skill level %. Can you give me other skills? No, you were able to absorb these for specific reasons, the sword manual because you already had sword experience, and this because they were the basics. All my other knowledge is far too advanced for you, but I can still teach the normal way, so don't worry. I nod and take out the self-bow and some arrows that I specifically asked Mirko to give me. She had questions that I was to evade, fortunately. I play around with it for a while to test it out, and then start searching for some tracks. Not seeing too well, I use sense acuity to make my nose and then my ears sharper. I catch the sound of a stick snapping, so I start heading towards it. Using my sneak LV max, I can easily move around without making any type of sound, but I didn't count one thing. A growl comes from my side, too near to my taste. Wolves also have good noses. The black wolf lunges towards me, its speed way higher than a normal wolf, closing the distance between us with just one big lunge aiming for my throat. I barely evade the lunge with one quick sidestep, making the only thing that hits me its saliva. I store the bow and take out my sword, activating shoulder charge and dashing to the wolf. The wolf fastly evades the attack, only to get surprised by the activation of the instantaneous step, which made me appear right in front of him. One quick stab and the sword pierced his right eye, killing it on the spot. I used the side of my shirt to dry off the saliva on my face, and now knowing the strength of the average wolf, I do a risky move. Shout. The same monstrous shout that came out the first time I activated it spread everywhere in the forest. Quick steps followed right after. Rage, Holy Strike, Tear, Intimidating Presence, Absorption. Apart from these, other passive skills came into effect, for example Imposing Presence, a skill of the Guardian Tree that makes me durable and harder to move the more enemies I am against. After less than 5 seconds, a group of 3 wolves appeared, teeth showing, growling and ready to tear my flesh apart. Good luck with that. Before any of the 3 could move, I made the obsidian throwing spear appear. With one quick twist of my torso and wrist, one of the wolves had its teeth crushed by the sheer force of the spear and got impaled right on the ground. The 2 remaining got stunned by the scene, giving me the scene to appear in front of the one on the right. Using my new swordsmanship, I grabbed the head of the wolf, not letting it open its mouth, and pierced his neck from side to side, opening a big gush in its throat. The other was fast enough to reach me and close his mouth on my shoulder, only for his teeth to get stuck on my now way more durable, Flex's muscles. I grabbed him by his head and with one quick pull, I crashed him against the ground. Before he could back up, I had already pierced his mouth with my sword, killing it without too much effort. I checked the area where I was bitten and only a few drops of blood came out before it stopped. Guess this is peak human regeneration for you. Just to be sure though, I also activate basic self-heal even more, boosting my regen. More and more steps started approaching, one of them being heavier than the others. I got back my throwing spear and readied myself for the incoming horde. I might not look like a hero, I might not be as strong as an actual hero, but I won't go down with one hell of a fight. Unnoticed to me, a floating Arthur is looking at me with a big smile on his face, proud of the way I am standing unquivering in front of such a horde of enemies. Show me the first steps of the new King of England, or of something even bigger. Chapter 28: A Beast Against Bigger Beast. I am covered in blood, either mine or wolf's ones. I have been fighting for I don't know how long, ripping wolves apart, slicing their head off, legs, and throats, sometimes even simply headbutting them to death. I am using every single skill I have to win this fight. I even climbed up a tree using parkour to give me a boost in my speed and hit on of the faster wolves. I am only standing thanks to sheer willpower, the rock steady being at max level, and a lot of pain resistance. The sword in my hand is starting to feel heavy, my body is begging for rest, my eyes are covered in blood hoping to close any moment, my head hurts for the constant use of skills, Rage, Holy Strike, and all the others activate skills consuming my stamina like sponges. Recovery doing its best not to make me faint. With one big swing, I pierced the head of the last wolf, the previously purple grass now completely dark red. I removed the sword from the corpse and slowly moved my head towards the last remaining wolf. As tall as a room, his pelt as dark as a starless night, his teeth white like snow, eyes red like blood, standing there, menacingly. As soon as he took a step towards me, I popped out a health potion, threw it inside my mouth, and started chewing. Did it hurt? Yes, it did. Did it save time? A lot. Will it be a problem for the incoming fight? No. After crushing the glass bottle with my hard teeth, also counts as bones, I pulverized it, and the wounds created inside my mouth regenerated in less than a second thanks to the health potion, the basic self-heal still, and the peak human body regeneration. In just 5 seconds I was back in top shape, just in time to evade the wolf claws aiming for my head. While evading the hit, I swung my sword aiming for the stomach of the wolf. Asterisk crack. Right in front of me, inside of the stone sword that I had been using until now, a handle with half of a blade could be seen, the other half being on the ground. I didn't have the time to mourn. The wolf lunged again towards me, now aiming for my legs. I reacted fast. I picked up the broken part on the ground and used it as a throwing knife, hitting the right front leg of the leg, making it stumble and change trajectory. He fell on his stomach, giving me chance to get on top of him. You a fucking hard skin, but are your eyes like that too? Like a frenzied beast, I started piercing the eyes of the wolf with the broken sword, my hands hurting like never before, while my body was used as a ragdoll by the beast, trying to make me fall from its back. But thanks to tear, my hands became like a bear trap on a human leg. The wolf slowly started losing more and more power, each strike becoming less painful. By the time it lost its strength on its legs, I had already pierced his eyes at least 100 times. I didn't stop until I felt satisfied, scared that if I stopped and left his back he could simply attack again. A beast is scarier when at death's door than when at full capacity. After a minute of constant stabbing, I released the broken sword and got off the wolf's back, waiting for my body to be able to move again. "That surely was a show," Arthur said while getting down from the fake throne he had created above my head. "Yeah, kind of fun, not gonna lie. Would have surely died if I didn't get that sword manual from you. Now I am sure that I did a great job by giving you that book. You two are a perfect match." Just before I could answer, a notification appeared in front of me. "The Father of Wolves has summoned you for a meeting." Everything around me turned dark. It already was dark, but I could see trees. Now I am in a world of pure darkness. No light, objects, or entities can be seen. The only things in this world are me and me. I wouldn't be so sure about that statement. Thousands of voices mixed in one said from behind me. My head turned as fast as an arrow, by the body followed right behind. In front of me, above thousands of corpses, lays the darkest wolf I had ever seen. If the one before represented night, this thing is void, its body being almost electrical but still filled with power, big as a building, teeth big as my arms, and claws long like my legs. Mythologically correct, no bullshit of being muscular, and that dude was 24/7 hungry. Fenrir. Quite observant. Why am I here? You killed my son. Shit. Don't worry, it was one of many, and if he died, it's his fault for being weak, but you have ever seen a movie where there is a cut, and the scene just changes? This is what happened. Fenrir was above the corpses, and then he was right behind me, his mouth too near to my comfort. You showed something I didn't see in a human in quite a while. Rage, savageness, finesse and brutality. You showed me the way of a true berserker, and for doing something like this, I think you deserve a reward. Before I could say anything, he moved his hand towards the lower right side of my stomach. A burning sensation spread. Pain like anything I ever felt made me go numb. I wanted to scream, but no voice came out. I wanted to run, but I couldn't move. I wanted to fight, but all my strength had disappeared. But just like it came, the pain disappeared in a second, and where Fenrir had touched me, a single runish symbol could be seen. By coming in contact with the Father of Wolves rune, your Beast Warrior class has evolved even further, becoming Runic Warrior. Thanks to the effect of the rune, the class has been automated and unlocked. Due to the effect of the rune, the skills Wolf Maw LV.1, Dark Vision LV.1, and Wolf's Nose LV.1 have been unlocked. Now we will have to depart. As much as I would like to give you more, it would attract too much attention, so go, show the world what a true warrior can do. And just as he finished speaking, the world of darkness crumbled, bringing me back to the forest filled with wolves' corpses. Arthur standing there with worry written all over his face. What the fuck just happened? I think I just met God and pissed my pants in the meanwhile. New skills. Wolf Maw LV.1. Your mouth as a human is unworthy of being compared to a wolf one, but it can grow up to become one. Rises mouth strength, teeth sharpness, and piercing power by skill level %. Dark Vision LV.1. A wolf is a hunter of the night, but how can you see in the night as a human? Change your eyes, easy as that, no actual change will happen. Can see in pure darkness unless special. Radius of the skill is, skill level, meters. Wolf's Nose LV.1. If your eyes or ears can help you, your nose will. Boosts perception enchantment by reading your olfactory department by, skill level, %. Skills level up. Auxiliary. Observe LV.50, drawing LV.20, running LV. Max, speed reading LV.67, tracker LV.45 equals 50, silver tongue LV. Max, driving LV. Max, taunting LV. Max, imitation LV. Max, mathematics LV.65, science LV.70, chemistry LV.45, medicine LV.64, new, sneak LV. Max, parkour LV. Max, sense acuity LV.68 equals 70, cooking L.V40, new, piano mastery LV.10, dancing LV.30, turbo LV.1 equals 18, peak human body regen LV. Max. Guardian class skills. Hard bones LV.90 equals 95, stomp LV.66 equals 70, rock steady LV. Max, recovery LV. Max, shout LV10 equals 12, shoulder dash LV.54 equals 60, basic self-heal LV.70 equals 80, bash LV.33, holy strike LV.45 equals 54, Hard skin LV.45 equals 63. Imposing presence LV.40 equals 50. Martial artist class skills. Martial arts LV.50 equals 57. Instantaneous movement LV.30 equals 34. Avenger class skills. Avenging strike LV.76 equals 89. Back from the dead LV.21 equals 35. Sweet damage LV.40 equals 46. Berserker class skills. Rage LV.33 equals 50. Blood steel LV.10 equals 33. Intimidating presence LV.50 equals 60. Tear LV.40 equals 52. Absorption LV.20 equals 29. Fighting skills. Beast among humans LV.60 equals 81. Shield mastery LV.60. Spear mastery LV.70 equals 74. Battle focus LV.50 equals 72. Axe mastery LV.50. Dagger mastery LV.50. Blunt weapon mastery LV.50. Handgun mastery LV.50. Strategy LV.30. Battle instincts LV.40 equals 64. Counter LV.20 equals 31. Bow mastery LV.10. Resistances. Pain resistance LV.90 equals 99. Holy damage resistance LV.40 equals 54. Tree point gained. Points. 256 equals 673. Quest reward. Wolves mortal enemy. Goal 1 kill all wolves. Goal 2 kill the alpha. Bonus goal satisfy the father of wolves. Reward 1 X10 random tickets, X5 weak attributes gemstones. Reward 2 X1 random ticket, equipment, X1 attribute gemstones. Bonus reward Runic warrior class unlock Fenrir rune. For the image search the rune for wolf. Chapter 29 Third POV. The same darkness where Fenrir had been laying for an unknown time, a year, and space itself tore apart the darkness of the place. From the tear, a man with gray hair and a beard comes out, one of his eyes covered by an eye patch, on his end a golden spear, and on his shoulders two bigger than normal crows. "What did you do?" the man asked. "Has that eye of yours stopped working?" "I know what I saw, but what I saw can't be explained by me, so what did you do?" "Wise like always, I gave a talented kid a chance." "You will less him to his death. Or to his greatness. You didn't see what I saw, because if you did you'd have realized that kid deserves to go to Valhalla far more than any of the Vikings that is there. You will bring him to corruption. You know better. I may look evil, but that doesn't mean I am evil. Would you kill a child knowing he will become a serial killer? Or will you help him fight his fate as you did? I will watch his growth. If he is worthy, then he will have a place reserved in Valhalla. That's the Odin I know. How long until it comes? You already know it. I am no more than a puppet under my father's hands. Same goes for my brother. We do not for it, but it will arrive sooner than hoped and later than expected. We just have to be ready. And ready we will be. Just as the man was about to swing his spear to open a tear in space, he looked back at Fenrir. Has magic died in his world? It did. Guess that is gonna change. So you met the father of wolves and you gained a rune that gives you some boons that makes you similar to a wolf? Considering what that ability means the system can do, I am not even surprised. I sigh knowing that Arthur was right. Wanting to think about something else, I claim my rewards for completing the dungeon. I decide to immediately take out the attribute gemstone, and a stone with the same color as its weak version, but this time as big as a baseball, appeared in my hand. A screen with its information appeared in mine, and I am happy to discover that unlike its weak version, this stone gives a minute of 10 stats to a max of 25 stats to a random one. I crush it and do the same for the other 5 weak gemstones. Weak. Charisma +8. Agility +9, currently at 69, nice. Wisdom +3. Perception +5. Perception +2. Normal. Endurance +17. A monstrous amount of energy coursed through my body. I felt invincible. Nothing could stop me. Nothing can hurt me. Nothing can kill me. Unfortunately, these are all just feeling caused by a whole +17 in endurance, making me sturdier, harder to put down, and all in all more machine-like. I also felt the bonus from perception changing the way I could see inside the dark forest. Combined with dark vision, the previously dark forest now looked like a normal forest on a cloudy day. My body felt lighter, my eyes being able to catch on details it previously missed, and other small changes. All in all, not a bad reward. I am tired mentally. I will spin the gacha tomorrow. Now I want to get some rest home. I willed to get out of the dungeon, and found myself back in the same place where I had left my backpack. I take out a change of clothes that I now always carry with me and put the trash clothes in a bag. This way Mom will never know that I almost died several times. With a smile, I start heading home while taking a look at the tree for the new class. And I am quite surprised at what I am seeing. On the whole tree, only 5 skills were present. Northern runes, Dwarvish runes, Elvish runes, Draconian runes, Valhalla runes. Just the first skill cost a whooping 500 points, but considering the way to unlock this skill, I am quite curious about what this tree can give me, so with a lot of sadness I use 500 of my 673 tree points. Northern runes LV.1. You have taken your first step as a rune warrior. All runes start from somewhere, and you started from the basic, giving knowledge about rune and their true meaning. By carving runes on an object or your body you can give certain effects. Runes engraved on the body can be removed by willing for them to heal. The higher the level of the skill, the higher the bonus. Currently you can engrave a maximum of skill level runes. My eyes sparkled, the light on them not vanishing even when my head started to hurt like hell. Knowledge about runes, how to write them, how to read them, and how to understand them, filled my mind. 3 minutes later it stopped, and I could now consider myself a rune reader and engraver. Wanting to test it out, I rush back home, say hi to my mother, and head straight for my room. I take from one of my drawers a pair of glasses that I had never used. Now let's see if I can truly do this. Based on the knowledge I gained from the skill, to engrave a rune, a magical one, you have to use your soul, willing to engrave your will on the material world. Did I do it on the first try? Hell no. Did I gain something else? Hell yes. Trying to discover what my soul was, Arthur also not knowing how to help me, I started meditating, hoping that it could help, since in most books meditating is either related to the mind or the soul. After less than 1 minute I was able to clear my mind thanks to my willpower and enter a serene state. None of my senses was receiving any input, none of my usual random thoughts popped out, and no random twitch caused me to break this state. My body is in a state of hibernation, with no emotions, senses, or even thoughts. After an unknown time I opened my eyes and found out it was already night. I started meditating at around 5:30 p.m., and after checking my phone I discovered the time was midnight. I meditate for almost 7 hours, damn. I checked the notification I had ignored until now and was surprised by what I saw. You have created the skill, Meditation LV.1. Due to the presence of the martial artist class, the skill has evolved to True Meditation LV.1 by using 50 tree points. True Meditation LV.12. As clear as water, as calm as a lake, as durable as a rock, meditation is the training for what the body can't do. While meditating, willpower will have a chance of skill level, or raising by 1 point every hour. Every 10 levels the mastery over your willpower will increase. With enough willpower and mastery over it you can not only control your body to extreme levels, you can also control your soul. Reward from meditation session, 2 points in willpower. Not what I expected, but still pretty fucking out, and the only clue I have as to how I can carve runes. In the meantime thought I can train in drawing them. Maybe that artist class will become useful after all. Chapter 30 Things I Hate. After a whole week, the first day at the UA had arrived, but this week I didn't sit idle. I used the other 2 dungeons generators, made my meditation skill reach level 30, started my training for the soul control, max basic self-heal, hard bones, and avenging strike, while my primary skill remained at a very annoying level, fucking 99. What skill am I talking about? Pain resistance. I have reached a point where even if I were to break every single bone in my body I could still move. The skill's thought doesn't nullify pain, it mutates my mind so that I can ignore it, which is better, considering pain is the first alarm that the body sends when something is wrong. All my other skills also are growing at a steady pace, with some new entries. Martial artist. Purity of body LV.14 bot. A martial artist is someone who uses their body as a weapon, and a weapon can't be stopped by regular means. All types of poisons, toxins, and debuff-based attacks will have their effect lowered by skill level, percent, and endurance boosts this skill. Multi-strike LV.9 bot. True martial artists are those able to hit multiple times with just one strike. When activated, the next strike will hit numerous times. The current strike, 1 plus skill level /10, only whole numbers. Fighting skills. Evasion LV.7 taught. After training for several hours, your body has become able to evade hits with just the perfect amount of movement. while dodging rises host speed and reflection speed by skill level, %. Auxiliary. Leadership LV.31 taught. A leader doesn't simply give out orders, he takes into account the strengths and weaknesses of his comrades. While giving out orders, your brain processing speed will be boosted by skill level, %. Regarding my gacha, I decide to wait to use them, aware of the possibility of a quest on the first day of school, meaning I currently have 17 random gacha tickets and one specific gacha ticket. And last but not least, my stats. Considering from where I am coming, I have reached quite a scary point with just physical means. Info. Name, Izuku Midoriya. Age, 17. Race, human. Class, Guardian, Berserker, Avenger, Martial Artist, Runic Warrior. Stats. Strength, 75 equals 85, Growth x3, Endurance, 89 equals 99, Growth x3, Dexterity, 43 equals 55. Agility, 69 equals 78, Growth x3, Intelligence, 53 equals 55, Wisdom, 39 equals 43, Growth x2. Willpower, 42 equals 54, plus 5, Charisma, 28 equals 30, plus 5, Perception, 44 equals 45. Endurance gives triple health regen. Skills, trees, quest, gacha, 17 plus 1 headgear equipment. Map. I don't know for what reason, but endurance isn't going up. Even after completing a training session, no point will be added to it. If 1 point by chance goes, it will instead go to another stat. Thus it has been staying at 99 for 2 days. And I have no idea how to make it reach the 100 mark. Do I need a skill or maybe unlock something? While thinking of ways I could make it reach 100, I arrived at my class, 1A, and just like I suspected, a loud chihuahua could be heard from the inside. I sighed while opening the door, and everyone inside pointed their eyes at me. To my surprise, I arrived last, so all 19 of the well-known characters of the anime were present, each staring at me with different stares. A terrified one, the angry one, a happy one, but mostly curious. Before anyone could speak, a yellow worm appeared from my right side. Seems like it took you less than I expected to shut up. Good, follow me to the training grounds, Aizawa said with a lazy voice. What about the entrance ceremony? Uraraka asked. There will be none, he said while hopping out of the classroom. Before going out, thought he looked at me for 5 seconds straight, looking me up and down. In his eyes both curiosity and pride could be seen. I followed close behind, Uraraka rushing to my side but not talking, scared of what Aizawa could do. All the others followed, and after 5 minutes we reached the training grounds, where Aizawa told us to change into the training clothes that had already been prepared. I took one and got inside the boot to change. I hid the rune using my boxers. Luckily the position of it is just low enough to be covered by them. Wow dude, cool scars and muscles, look manly as hell, a voice said from behind me. I turned towards the voice, and one of my favorite characters could be seen, a redhead. Check shark teeth? Check big smile? Check Kirishima Aizuru in all its rockness right in front of me, or more like below. I am way taller than the average Japanese teen, even in a world with quirks. Thanks dude, you are shredded yourself. Thanks, what is your training regime? You must train like a man to look like this? You have no idea, but the satisfaction you receive when you feel after becoming stronger is worth the damn pain. The absolute truth. When the other guys saw how I talking to Kirishima without too many problems, everyone got a bit warmer, and we started exchanging names, and then the scene arrived. Guys, there is a peephole to the girls' changing room. The reason the girls can't relax, said while breathing heavily. Thanks to my perception, I could feel the girls in the other room discussing this. Jiro must be using her quirk. Just before he could even move his body to reach the hole, I grabbed him by the neck. Now let's put some ground rules. You know what happens when you gain small control over your soul. You can gain better control over AoE skills. I activated an intimidating presence and pointed it at Mineta. His body began shivering, his teeth hitting each other, his body sweating, all the signs of fear fully showing from him. There are 2 things that I hate. One is racism. And do you know what the other is? I asked him with a smile. He didn't answer, too scared to even breathe correctly. I said, do you know? I asked this time without a smile, staring him right into his trembling eyes, making him almost cry. Perverts? He asked. So your great head isn't just for show, and do you know how I deal with perverts? And no. Do you want to know? And no. Then you better not be one, understood? I said while finally shutting off intimidating presence. He began nodding profusely, almost making his head detached from his body. I heard the girls talking, but they were whispering so I couldn't hear them perfectly. And not wanting to creep, I finished changing and got out. Fucking my netta. Chapter 31 Quirk Apprehension Test. When I got out of the changing room, I headed to the area where Aizawa said we would have to wait for him. Less than a minute after I got out, Kirishima also got out, rushing towards me with a smile on his face. That was cool as hell, dude. Do you have a fear-inducing quirk or something like that? Or do you have a body enchantment quirk? Would suit you considering how shredded you are. I am quirkless, I bluntly told him. His face showed clear confusion. He doesn't seem disgusted as some other people I have seen be. He only looks confused and doesn't know how to continue. A few minutes later, everyone got out and Aizawa arrived with the same testing equipment as the anime. We will be testing the limits of your quirks. Until now you have been obliged to not use them. Here you can, he said, and less than a second later grabbed one of the balls and threw it towards me. The ball was thrown at a speed above normal, so he was testing me. Without even flinching, I easily catch the ball. Izuku Midoriya, first place, come here and show how this is done. I moved towards him and asked what I had to do. What was your average distance during middle school? 30 feet. He was stunned by the answer, but he recovered quickly and continued. Use everything you can and throw the ball as far as you can, but you must not get out of the circle. I nodded and got inside the circle. I had already thought of how I should deal with this. I activate rage and threw the ball upwards. I jumped up while spinning my body, and at the exact perfect moment, while activating multi-strike and activating the effect of martial arts, I kicked the ball with all my strength. No explosion or that type of bullshit happened, but the ball disappeared behind, aiming for the sky. Aizawa showed the result, and I was quite happy with what I got. On the machine the number 711.3 meters could be seen. So I have reached the same strength Izuku would have had right now while using 1% of One for All, but only by using skills and gimmicks of my system. Everyone got surprised by the show, and one got angry, mostly because they didn't understand what my quirk was. Perfect, now you understood what to do without your quirk, you all have to do it with yours. What does without mean? Momo asked, her curiosity taking the best of her. I am quirkless. And like in all anime, a scream that, even if staged, could have been this good, came out of everyone's mouth at the same time. I ignored the stares and got back in place. Perfect, now it's time for the first actual test. The test was the same as the anime, same order and in the same groups, but unlike the Izuku from the anime, I rocked all of the tests. Rage was active all the time, boosting my stats, while for each test I simply had to use the required skill, 50-meter dash, 2 quick instantaneous steps, and I install finished grip strength. 85 strength plus 50% boost of rage plus tear made resulted in a drip strength of 1 ton, standing long jump. Didn't even need a skill for this one. Turbo helped me have 25% of my speed even from an unmoving position. Repeated side steps. Okay, this one wants pretty normal, above average, but my netta still beat me. Meh, ball throw? Already dealt with it. Bakugo couldn't beat me and Uraraka broke the record with bullshit power. In all the other tests I still got first place, rocking the distance run and being asked to stop after Aizawa got bored. But something different happened this time. Well, more like Aizawa didn't act. After seeing the results, Bakugo, not even in third place, shouted Deku and rushed towards me. I saw how Aizawa flinched but didn't interact. He was curious about how I would deal with this situation. Sorry Aizawa, but I hate people like Bakugo. I appeared right in front of Bakugo, my hand grabbing his face and smashing him against the ground all in one fluid motion. His body bounced off the ground, only to get stomped by my foot, most likely cracking a rib. I activate intimidating presence and pointed it at Bakugo. My dear Bakugo, I would have let it slide if you only shouted at me, but you attacked first. What would have happened if I had gotten hit by one of your explosions? Would I have gotten another scar? You already covered 10% of my body with them, aren't you satisfied? Should I do the same to you? When those words came out, a smile formed on my face, and a shiver passed down everyone's spine. For those that had been under the effect of an intimidating presence, the smile meant more than just a simple sick smile. It meant that a beast was aiming you as its prey. I continued putting pressure on the cracked rib. But before I could continue, a scarf covered both my arms and legs, and even though I would be able to move with a lot of struggle, I decided not to. Going further would put me in an even worse light. I knew you all would have been a troublesome group, but not to this extent. Oh, he has no idea. Chapter 32 Friends and Gacha. While Aizawa dragged Bakugo away, I deactivated all the skills that boosted my stats, and the sense of tiredness started to disappear thanks to my inhuman stamina regen. I could feel the stares coming from my classmates, not expecting such a scene, even more, because I had nearly broken a rib. "Was that necessary?" Kirishima asked. He wasn't scared but surely wary, his concept of quirkless broken into hundreds of pieces. "Necessary? Define the word. After all, I have just been attacked. Why should I have not answered the same way?" I countered the question back to him. "And you are right, I would have also smacked him right in the face, but what you did afterwards was cruel," Mina said from the back of the group. "So if I, villain, were to attack, you would simply smack him on the wrist and let him go? But he is an AV dash. He was acting like one, so until he removes those tendencies from him, I will treat him like he deserves it." Before anyone could say something else, Aizawa came back, none apart from me, knowing he had actually been hearing everything I said. "Today you have trained your quirks for the first time. Most of you use them not efficiently or in the wrong way. You are here not only to become heroes but to also become experts on quirks." He didn't continue, letting the words sink in. "Now you all should go back to class. You have your second period in a few minutes." Hearing the words, I head to the changing rooms and put back on the uniform, the people inside now looking at my scars with a bit more concern and fear. A few minutes later we finally arrive at the class. I get on my seat, which is the same as the one from the anime, and I take out the book I am currently reading, Call of Cthulhu. The possibility of gaining a skill that connects me to an eldritch beast excites me. But before I could start reading, our teacher got inside, and damn is she an exhibitionist. "Good morning, class. I am your teacher for modern hero art history, Namuri Kayama," she said with a flirty tone. So in the time that we didn't see in the episode, they actually go to school like normal high schoolers. It's gonna be boring. The day went on and we met most of your teachers, all wearing their hero costumes and showing off their quirks. All of them stared at me for a few seconds before starting their class. Maybe they felt bad for showing their quirks, I don't care. During lunch we were told where the cafeteria was, and like I had predicted, no one sat with me for lunch. "Hey, can I sit?" I look up from my book and meet the eyes of Mizo. "Sure," I told him, surprised to see him approach me. He sat down and started eating his food through the mouth on his arm. "Cool quirk. If you say so. Most of the time it gives me more problems than I wish." "Mutant haters? Curicless haters?" We both nodded, knowing the true colors of this world. "How did you get this strong? I can see you not having any type of mutation, but training can bring you to a certain point." He asked, quite curious about what I would answer. "That is an on-point question. I did train like a madman, but apart from that I also discovered that my body has some different mutations. They are not related to quirks, so even though I can be defined as quirkless, my DNA and body are different from a truly quirkless human. So we both are mutants," he said with a laugh. "You can call me that," I answered with a smile. The others, seeing the scene, and some even sharing what I said, were confused about what to do. On one side I looked like a beast ready to steal their candies, on the other, I was a normal teen who knew how to take a joke. While nodding, Kirishima gets up from where he was and sat at my lunch table, followed by Hirarika and a few others. "Sorry dude, simply didn't know how to act. You were both scary and cool at the same time and my brain stopped working," he said bluntly, no shame in his voice. Hirarika, hearing him, punches him on the shoulder. "What?" he asked, not knowing what he did wrong. Everyone sighed and then continued eating. While eating I saw Mina deciding if she should approach or not. We met eyes, and after looking at each other I moved my head to indicate for her to sit down. She sat down with a smile, unsure if it means I forgave her, which I did, not there really being anything to forgive. It was pretty easy. We continued chatting, and by the end of lunch we were a little closer, and the fear they previously had for me was gone. The day finished by 4 p.m. quite tired from learning things I already knew and having to wear clothes that were too tight for my comfort. The only thing brightening my day is the possibility of beating to a pulp Bakugo tomorrow. Let's only hope no butterfly effect will happen. But before doing anything I have something I have been craving to do. You have pulled 17 random gachas. You have pulled 1 random headgear gacha. Weak attributes gemstone, INT, X5. Weak attributes gemstone, WIS, X3. Weak attributes gemstone, DX, X2. Same things as attributes gemstones, but for specific stats, the number would still be random. Congratulations on gaining the system function, perks. You have gained a large bracelet of holding X1. You have gained the famous book, Ika Ika Book 1 X1, You have gained the skill, observe. Due to already present skills, a skill fusion will happen. Observe LV.50 equals copying LV.1. Copying LV.1. Your ability to understand things is unimaginable while looking at others perform actions. You have a chance of skill level of instantly learn without practice. And the more you look, the higher the skill level will rise. The maximum level is the level of the one you are looking at. Can't copy innate, unique skills or powers. You have gained 3 filled trash bags. You have gained the item, Glasses of the Scholar. Glasses of the Scholar. While reading, the effective speed reading will be doubled, and all gains, while reading will be boosted while wearing INT and WIS points, are easier to gain. All items have been stored inside a large bracelet of storing. Well, I now truly have a gamer system. Chapters 33 Perks. Before anything else, I decide to immediately use the attribute gemstones. The stats, they were related to being the hardest to train for me. +6 int, +7 int, +2 int, +9 int, +6 int, +8 wis, +2 wis, +4 wis, +8 dex, +7 dex. The power rush this time was very different. This time I didn't feel my body change in any way, but I felt the world change. Becoming easier to understand, see, and perceive its integrity might be an effect of the boost I receive from it in processing speed, making me receive more information in less time. But now, the important part of this gacha. Perks. A true gamer can't be called one without perks, and rewards for completing certain tasks or reaching certain milestones. Some perks are hidden, others are not. Perks are bought through perk points, which can be obtained from quests, every 10 skill levels ups, or other ways. Since this is the first time, the user has been given 10 perk points. Perks will be generated based on current stats, skills, titles, and classes. Perks. Iron Fist, 1/5, STR reaching 50 unarmed damage deals 20% more damage. 1 perk point. Toughness, 1/5, Endurance reaching 50 physical damage deals 10% less damage. 1 perk point. Inhuman Endurance, Endurance 99, your body can go beyond normal human endurance. 2 perk point. Sneaky Running, sneak above level 90 running will be affected by the sneak skill. 1 perk points. Adamantium Body, hard skin skill above 50, hard bones above 50, endurance above 80, all damages dealt through the body deal 50% more damage, and all blunt, slash, and pierce damage received will be halved. 3 perk points. An enormous list of perks, some glowing and others not appearing in front of me. I decided to remove all those that weren't glowing, reducing the page to 1/10 of its previous size, and started pondering what should I buy considering I only have 10 perk points. 2 will be obliviously spent for the Inhuman Endurance perk, which leaves behind 8 perk points. Adamantium Body sounds tempting, mostly because of the possibility of receiving only half blunt damage, and there also are other perks that will give me small gimmicks that I can easily use to my advantage. I have decided. You have bought the perks: Inhuman Endurance, Adamantium Body, Toughness x3 30% damage reduction, weak points, Medicine above 50, costs 2. Weak points. All damages dealt to the weak points of the enemies will deal double damage. The first change came with the arrival of the +1 in Endurance, making it reach 100. A monstrous energy filled every cell of my body. If previously I was a machine that could go for hours, now I am an unstoppable force. Not literally, just a feeling. Next came the Adamantium Body. My muscles, nerves, organs, veins, cells, everything became as tough as my bones and skin. My body feel way heavier than before, causing my movement to become slower and less precise. This will be a good way to train strength though. The toughness simply made everything tougher. Nothing more, nothing less. At this point I think a normal bullet can only pierce through my skin and would block at my muscles. And fortunately, the weak point perk did nothing. No new knowledge or changes to my body, fortunately. I already know these perks are what are going to make a broken character. From the knowledge I received, the damage resistance doesn't stack. So the damage I receive will be first halved and then reduced by 30%. So if I theoretically receive 100 damage, it will become 50. And then 15 points will also be removed. Just as I was about to move away from the alley I had taken to buy the perks, I receive a notification that makes me smile. The Dungeon Explorer title has taken effect. You have found a dungeon. Catacombs of the Forgotten Lich. Goal 1. Kill all the summons that have freed themselves. Goal 2. Kill their general. Bonus goal. Kill the Forgotten Lich. Reward 110 random gacha tickets, 1 attribute gemstone. Reward 2. 5 rare random gacha tickets. higher chance of something good, 5 attribute gemstone. Bonus reward, 1 ultra rare gacha ticket. I can't complete the bonus reward. My whole build is based on absorbing as much physical damage as I can while dealing damage, but I have 0 resistance to magical damage apart from holy resistance, and I don't think the Lich will use holy magic. I opened my trees to see if there was a skill that could help. Unfortunately, it was there, but it cost a lot. Guardian Vow LV.1, cost 150. A Guardian doesn't only protect from the seen, but also from the unseen. When you receive magical damage, skill level, % will be absorbed and converted to stamina. I don't have enough tree points, but what is the best to collect tree points if not going inside a dungeon? Do you wish to enter? Yes/no. Before clicking yes, I took out Arthur and wore him. In dungeons he works as a guard, warning me from unseen enemies, and he also likes seeing me fight. I click on the yes, and from the previous normal world, everything went into ruin. The sun and the sky became red, the ground dark like the night. The building was all destroyed to bits, and skeletons, ghosts, zombies, and other monsters roamed free on the streets. Guess what happened when they sensed a human life? They instantly dashed towards me. I activate instantly Holy Strike, sure that it will save my ass in this dungeon. Next Rage with all its secondary boosts, and all the Guardian skills to absorb damage. This is going to be fun. And the massacre began. Chapter 34, Fight with all you got. Do you know the definition of a massacre? The indiscriminate and brutal slaughter of many beings. Do you know what I was doing? The indiscriminate and brutal slaughter of many beings. When the first zombie got too near to my comfort, I easily evaded his lunge, grabbed his head and body, pulled L, and removed his head and spine from his body. When a skeleton got too near, I crushed his head with a holy boosted punch. Ghost tried absorbing, but thanks to my high willpower I stopped those tries with ease, using my holy infused attacks to destroy them. But I wasn't invincible. I got bitten, slashed, punched, kicked, and nearly possessed several times. The power of toughness and adamantium body doing their best to make me stand, my regeneration working overtime to make me able to move and live. The only thing keeping me sane was the constant feeling of pain caused from the poison that was spread in the air, purity of body slowly increasing in level. My regeneration doing its best to keep up with both the poison and the enemies. Wanting to try something out, I take out my halberd and lower my body, taking the same pose as when I used my sword, trying to copy the moves. Since the sword style was based on a sword, the movements were initially wrong, but slowly I adapted more and more until the moves I was using could be defined as scary as the ones when I use a sword. Unseen me a notification form, completely changing my fighting style from that moment on. By infusing weapon mastery with the style Beast Among Humans and the presence of the Fathers of Wolves rune, all present and future melee weapons masteries will be infused with the style, further strengthening it. Beast Among Humans evolved to Monster Among Humans. Monster Among Humans LV, based on the weapon. You are a monster, you don't fight for survival, you don't fight for honor, you don't fight for a reason, you crave blood, you crave screams, you crave violence. Effect: while holding a weapon, all physical aspects and willpower, weapon sharpness, durability, precision, piercing ability, and other minor aspects will be boosted by 100 plus weapon skill level %. Weapon skills: Sword LV.81, Dagger LV.50, Blunt Weapons LV.50, Axe LV.50, Shield LV.60, Spear L.V.74. Physical boosts won't stack if holding 2 different weapons, only the weapons will be boosted. Just as I was about to destroy another skeleton with a kick in the head, all my senses warn me immediately evade. I immediately take out my shield, cover it in holy energy, and block the attack that would have split me in half. The shield nearly gets bent due to the strength of the hit, but using the halberd I make the enemy take a step back, making me able to breathe again. Right in front of me stands a fully armored being, a 2-handed sword in his hand, blue flames coming from his sockets, while purple gas comes out from the holes of his armor. I take a quick look at the shield and I see it cracked in some places, but still strangely standing. Ignoring the fact, I use Stomp just in time to stun an enemy that had tried to sneak up on me, and with one quick spin, I grab his head, throwing it against the armored enemy, distracting it for a second and giving me the chance to use shoulder dash and stunning him. Using him while I hit the hand holding the sword, making it fly away. Using the halberd I hit him on the legs, and thanks to the holy infused attack, the armor got easily bent and the body under it started breaking and burning. As soon as he fell to the ground, I started pounding his body with my shield using bash. breaking all his armor and revealing the monstrous face hidden behind the helmet. My stamina was starting to get pretty low, so I took out a stamina potion and threw it inside my mouth. I readied myself from the next horde of enemies. This time between their lines there also were some hard skeletons holding sticks. Big fireballs started forming above their heads, and I was pretty sure that if even one of those were to hit me, I wouldn't get out scot-free. Yep, I am out. And just like that, I was out of the dungeon, leaving behind a stunned undead army. Fuck, was that tiring. I thought while crashing on my bed. But also a perfect way to train. The summons were seemingly endless, so unless you kill their general, or maybe even the lich, the dungeon is endless. I know, but until my magic resistance is high enough I won't get back there, I said while finally buying Guardian Vow, taking a look at the improvement of my skills, and finally noticing the appearance of the skill monster among humans, and how OP it is. I surely wouldn't have predicted such an outcome from giving you that manual, but I still can say that it's better like this, Arthur said with a smile on his face. I nodded and started meditating, trying to relax after such a tiring day. But after just an hour of meditating, something special happened. +1 willpower. True meditation has reached level 50, thus enabling the user a very minor control of their own soul. Fucking hell yeah, I can make runes. I quickly get up from my mediating position and take out a piece of metal that had been staying in my bracelet for quite a while and started following the process that had been impressed on my mind by the runic warrior class. It's time to draw. Chapter 35. Dark green energy covers my hand and takes the shape of a scalpel. Thanks to Nordic runes I know hundreds of letters I could draw in the scrap metal, but deciding to do something simple, I start drawing on the metal the rune Thor. But mid-drawing I lost control of my soul for a split second, causing a small explosion that destroyed the scrap and ruined the work I had done. Fuck. I nearly shouted because of the wasted material. The mom shouted about the sudden explosion she had heard. Don't worry, I am watching a movie on my phone. Lower the volume a bit please, she asked me. This time, with much more attention and precision, I slowly started drawing again. After 30 minutes I finally finished drawing the rune, resulting in a notification. You have successfully created the rune of the god Thor. Decide its function: weak protection, weak polarity, weak regeneration. Weak protection. Effect: 10% from all sources of damage will be nullified, and won't stack with runes with the same effect. Activation will consume stamina. Weak polarity. Effect: when activated you can pull objects or people towards the holder of the rune. For example, arrows are more likely to hit the target, and max pulling force is equal to willpower /10 kg. Activation consumes large amounts of stamina. Weak regeneration. Effect: when activated boosts all body regeneration by 10%. Consumes large amounts of mental strength. I click on the weak protection one and then started doing the same process on my body. It would have normally hurt like hell. You are literally using your soul to burn your flesh and create a complicated drawing infused with your own soul. But you know what others don't have? Pain resistance at level 99. I now know what it feels like to get your flesh burnt by your soul. But I didn't react and was able to create 3 runes each with a different effect. One is inside my palms, it being the polarity rune. The protection rune is near Fenrir's one and the regeneration one is on my left chest. How am I going to hide? Soul runes can't be seen by normal people, luckily. It would be kind of hard to explain a tattoo in a society that connects tattoos to Yakuza. A side effect of creating 5 runes in one sitting? I feel more tired than ever. I crawl back towards my bed and just as my head touches the pillow I black out. Nordic runes LV.1 equals LV.3. Drawing LV.34 equals 43. After waking up with a shitty migraine I have a quick shower, eat my breakfast, wear my uniform and started rushing to school, my blood boiling at the idea of the incoming fight. Show your worth. Goal: win the battle trial. Bonus goal 1, win under 20 minutes. Bonus goal 2, win under 10 minutes. Bonus goal 3, win under 5 minutes. Reward: title, 5 random tickets. Bonus reward 1, 10 random tickets. 5 weak attributes of crystal. Bonus reward 2, 10 random tickets, attribute crystal, 1 perk point. Bonus reward 3 perk points, 1 class point, and 5 attribute crystals. So apart from beating Bakugo I also gain a reward for doing it? The mere thought made a smile appear on my face. I started running towards the school even faster, not even noticing the small cracks I was leaving on the ground with each step due to the mere strength behind my steps and the current weight of my body. After 10 minutes I arrived at my class. The class was completely empty to my surprise. I checked the time only to realize that it was 7:10 a.m., so I have quite some time before class. I sigh and sit on my desk taking out the Lovecraft book, a few pages left from my sweat reward. And just in 1 minute I finally finished the book. You have completed the quest training for mind power. You have read the story of another universe without going crazy, plus 10 willpower. You have glimpsed at a great old one without losing your sanity, plus 10 intelligence. You have seen the limit of the universe by seeing what an eldritch horror can truly do, plus 10 wisdom. By evading certain death while reading this book you have gained the skill, Sixth Sense LV.1. Sixth Sense LV.1. Your sense has reached the apex of what can be called human, breaking into another realm of the supernatural, and predicts an incoming attack, skill level /10, seconds before it happens. Warlock class gained. They are watching. I might have miscalculated the reward from this book. Plus 30 attributes? Great. A new skill that works like a spider tingle? Good. Knowing that there is a universe where eldritch horrors exist? Not so good. Knowing they are watching me? Can I go back in time? Oh, who am I joking? Even if I went back in time they would still be watching me. But who is? Nyarlathotep? Thulu? Fucking Azathoth? Please tell me it's Azathoth. But in contrast, I have God protection on my side. Was this the reason why I didn't die? If it is, thank you, Fenrir. Well, I can't do much else. The notification said they are watching, not that they are interested, and I hope it stays like that. After evading the bullet I waited for the arrival of the rest of the class, which took around 30 minutes. After everyone arrived before they could sit, someone from one of the speakers said that Class 1A had to head to the same area where the entrance exam was run for their first class. We chatted along the way, and by the time we had arrived the others started asking who our teacher would be. Coming through the door like a normal person, a masculine voice said from the entrance of the room. Bigger than I remembered, that's what she said. Chapter 36. Clothes actually do the man. A human tank stand right in front of me, his muscles made of pure iron, his eyes dark like a shadow with a blue torch right in the middle, 32 pearls visible on his mouth, his hair made of pure gold. All of this plus his height of 7 feet 3 inches made him the literal representation of what would imagine when thinking the word hero. But for me? He meant nothing. Sure, he was strong, but after seeing Fenrir, and realizing that eldritch horror exists, fighting the undead, goblins, and magical wolves, I wasn't scared of him. Wary? Sure. Scared? Not anymore. He looks around and visibly cringes when he catches my stare, but he quickly returns to normal and starts talking. As some of you might have heard trough rumors, I officially became a professor at UA. I will be your foundational hero studies teacher, and as our first lesson we will have a... He interrupted his phrase and instead started flexing, only then talking again. Battle trial. Hell yeah. A very excited Bakugo shouted. Everyone got excited. I was too, for clear reasons, and got even more excited at his following words. But to fight like a hero, you must look like a hero. At those words, he moved towards the room's entrance and brought us inside our costumes. In between them I could see mine too, but the secondary equipment I had explicitly requested through Mirko was missing. But just as that thought passed through my mind, All Might brought inside the room a big futuristic-looking suitcase and put it near my costume. Never mind, they didn't miss it. I hope they followed my instructions. Now, go change and I will explain to you if this battle trial will work. We all nodded and dashed towards our costumes. Yep, they followed my instructions. I thought while looking at the weapon in my hand. It looks like a normal European greatsword, but with one quick button press it became a spear, with another button press and it became an axe, and lastly a sword in shield mode. Of course, all of these shapes couldn't come out of anything, so the mere size and weight of this thing was something no normal human should be able to lift. But I am not a normal human. Unfortunately, they made all of the shapes dull. Which doesn't really work for me thanks to the effective monster among humans, but still annoying. Just to be safe, I also had asked for a tactical military knife with the ability to discharge around 50.000 volts. Not enough to kill, but enough to stun someone, and some throwing knives. Last but not least, my outfit. Imagine a medical armor made to be actually usable and not unable to move in, and you got it. I had asked for metal armor. All the other accessories were added by the hero agency to make me look, and I have to say, I do. Image here. Not wanting to become a young master, I stopped staring at myself in the mirror and head back to the training area, noticing that I was the last to arrive. Wearing metal armor is hard, okay? When I arrived, I caught everyone's attention, at first due to the sound I was making, and next for the aura I emanated. You don't see a 6 feet 2 inches armor-covered human with a sword and shield every day after all. Uraraka rushed to my side and started spinning around me. Wow, that is so cool, it sure fits you. Why are the weapons tough? I know how to fight better with weapons than barehanded. Dude, you totally look like a knight, but not those with shining armor. Nah, you are one of those that stand in the front line with an arrow in the chest and still fight, the greatest man, Kirishima said with a big smile while approaching me. We started commenting on each other's outfits, some more revealing than others, and some cooler than others. Seriously? A fucking diaper? Perfect. Now that everyone is settled, I will be explaining how the battle trial will work. Are you ready? Uraraka asked while looking at me. Ready? I have been waiting for this moment, I said while looking at the building right in front of me. As it unfolded in the anime, I was placed with Uraraka against Bakugo and Ida, and the battle trial objective was the same, either defeat both villains or defend the bomb. Wanting to win as quickly as possible, I used sense acuity to sharpen my sense and pinpoint the floor where the bomb had been placed and the two had decided to stay. I first started with my hearing capability. When I wasn't able to pick up anything, I decided to use my nose, and this time I was able to understand where they were. They are on the last floor, I told Uraraka. How do you know? Because I know Bakugo, he is gonna only want to fight me and nothing else, so he thinks that placing the bomb on the last floor is the best choice. Unfortunately, he isn't as sharp as he thinks he is, I told her, mixing both bullshit and truth to create the perfect lie, my charisma and silver tongue also helping in making it believable. I believe you, you know Bakugo better than anyone here, so what do we do? When All Might give us the start, you grab my back and by all means not let go. What? I have a way to get to the top floor in a few seconds, but you won't be able to keep up. Do I really have to do this? You be left behind? Fine, she says in defeat. We then wait for the start of the battle trial, and the exact second I heard the intercom starting to make a sound, I activate all my buffs, ready to show off. Start! All Might shouted. Uraraka leapt on my back and quickly tangled herself around it. Being sure she was safe, I jumped straight up the second floor and started climbing the walls by piercing the wall with my fingers thanks to the effect of the tear skill. In 5 seconds we had already reached the last floor, surprising both Ida and Bakugo, who was about to leave the floor, most likely wanting to search for me. I guess I found him first. I entered the floor and looked at them both. I reconnected my sword and shield and clicked on one of the buttons, making it shift to its great sword form. I stepped on the ground, nearly breaking it, while a big smile formed on my face. Let's dance. Chapter 37, Not Holding Back. Before anyone could even blink at my words, Bakugo immediately activated his quirk, lunging himself at a blinding speed towards me, destroying everything that posed in front of his path with his explosions. When he was about to reach me, he stopped in midair and decided that it was for the best to not come near me and decide on another tactic. Hundreds of small sparkles formed on his hands while a sadistic smile formed on his face. I immediately realized what he was about to do. Take cover! I shouted to Uraraka while positioning myself in front of her and using my greatsword to reduce the force behind the explosion and not let it move me away. Asterisk boom. An enormous explosion covers both me and Uraraka. Fortunately for her, I was in front of her, absorbing most of the damage and making her get only some burning injuries. Me? Oh, I was in a much worse state. Will it stop me from beating the shit out of him? Fuck no. Like a train, I come out of the smoke with a bleeding head and burned but still functioning armor. They did a good job while making it. Bakugo's face visibly cringed when he saw me still standing and started throwing more and more explosions towards my direction. Each explosion, apart from making me angrier and stronger, did an absolute bat's hit to my momentum. When I arrived near him, he tried to move away, but yeah, not gonna happen. Fuxing stay, I said using the shout skill. He got stunned for a second, giving me the chance to hit him in the stomach with my greatsword, using it like a bat. Bakugo got thrown away, but he was surprisingly still standing, so mid-flight he got back on his feet and this time aimed for where I was standing instead of me. The ground beneath me crumbled under the force of the explosion, forcing me into a midair state, and making Bakugo able to hit me as much as I wanted. Kicking, punching, and elbowing either my face or the uncovered parts of my body, each blow being basically nullified by all the skills, perks, and stats. Just as he was about to kick me once again, I was able to grab his leg and smash his against the ground just before I arrived at the ground. I landed on my feet and immediately appeared above Bakugo, and just as I was about to use Stomp on his right leg, he barely evaded the hit by propelling himself forward, making my feet only crush the ground. "Come at me, you fucking pussy," I said, this time not using any skill apart from Silver Tongue. Anger became even more visible on his face, and like I had predicted, he started moving his hands towards the pin of his gauntlets. "This is gonna fucking hurt," I thought while going to the sword and shield mode of the weapon. I positioned the shield in front of my shoulder, barely covering my eyes, and waited for the perfect moment. Just as he removed the pin, thousands of big sparkles formed on his gauntlet, and just as he was about to let the explosion go, I activated shoulder charge and dashed towards him. The next few seconds aren't easy to explain in one whole picture, so I will divide them into moments. The first moment, the explosion hits me at nearly point blank, making my upper bones crack, but not break, due to the sheer strength behind it. Next, I activate shoulder charge again, immediately regaining my lost momentum, and like a dead coming back from the grave, I come out of the smoke covered in blood and burns. Lastly, Bakugo tried to head for his second pin, but just before he could, I made my move. I activate bash first, hitting him in his stomach, and after leaving both of my weapons, I formed a fist with my right hand ready to let everything go. Avenging strike, I thought, and hell broke loose. With a strength no normal human should possess, I hit Bakugo with an uppercut right in his chin, making him go back to the last floor where he got stuck on the roof with a broken maw. While silence filled the whole place, I jumped back up to the last floor and started walking towards the bomb. My sword created sparks on the ground while my shield was ready to block any hit. Every step felt lighter than the previous thanks to the effect of my Regan, and my body started to feel tired. Just as I was about to touch the bomb, Ida stopped my path, ready to battle. "I am gonna S-dash," he tried to say. But I was tired and angry for ruining of my costume, so I activated an intimidating presence, using my soul control to dumb down by a notch the effect of the skill. "Move," I said with an emotionless voice. Was it the aura, the current outfit being covered both in blood, mine and not mine, the voice, or the mere difference in height? Ida listened, and he moved out of the way. I touched the bomb, thus ending the battle trial with a win for the heroes. Uraraka dashed towards me both in happiness and worry for my state. "We won, oh my god, we won," she said while trying to hug me. But before she could, I used my great sword to block her path. She got stunned by this and looked at me. "I am covered in blood, Ash, and who knows what. I am by no means going to hug until I take the necessary shower, then you can have uppies." I told her. Was I flirting? Not intentionally. I am simply too tired to care about the actual words that come out of my mouth. With a red face, she started talking. "Alright GHT, wait, let me help you," she said with a crack in her voice at the start of her phrase. She tried to lift my arm, failing miserably. I sighed at the cute attempt and grabbed back my great sword and put it on my back, happy for the friendship showed by Uraraka, the great fight, and the incoming reward. Chapter 38. Chapter 38. Congratulations, you have completed the quest. Show your worth in 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Reward title, number 1, 5 random tickets. Bonus rewards, 20 random tickets. 5 weak attributes of crystal, 6 attribute crystal, 4 perk points, and 1 class point. Number 1. You have shown how everyone is below you, giving you both strength and charisma. Effect, plus 5 to strength and charisma. Upgrade condition, be considered the number 1 by 100 people, currently 18/100. A new class has been created through specific actions. Martial Artist class has evolved into a Martial Brawler. Martial Brawler. You don't fight with finesse, you fight with precision, strength, and cruelty. Eyes, nose, below waist hits, you do everything to win, but you do it with style. Effect, Wisdom growth modifier lost, Willpower growth x3, Dexterity growth x3, Agility growth x3, all future battling styles will fully center around efficiency. Martial arts has been fused with the skill monster among humans, further boosting and changing its name to One Man Army. One Man Army has also absorbed handgun mastery and bow mastery. For creating your very own fighting style, you have been given the title, Master Fighter. Master Fighter. Your smile only appears during fights. You crave fights with all your being. When you fight, you can be yourself, and others are scared by this. Effect. All fighting-related skills, class or not class related, will now grow 5 times faster. Aw, sweet old quest rewards, you can never get enough of them, and those some fucking good skills and titles. I thought while climbing the stairs back to the control room, where my classmates and All Might were waiting for us. I turned towards Uraraka, who is visibly blushing. Maybe what I said earlier has finally settled in. Now that I think about it, who the fuck says uppies? Me apparently, but that is another point. After reaching the room, I am welcomed by stunning gazes and one challenging one. Guess who is different? Din Din Din, half hot half cold, is staring daggers at me. If I were to fight him, I don't know how it would go. In the anime he has shown the ability to freeze entire buildings in a few seconds, but I don't have a way to test the durability of that ice. Maybe the larger it is, the weaker it becomes. The only way to find out would when I fight him in the sports festival. And the fire? Please, oh no, I got burnt. Anyway, the fire doesn't worry me for a few simple reasons. First, the pain won't stop me. When he hits and damages me, I gonna heal faster than he can burn. And lastly, I won't do any type of that is your quirk, not his speech. So unless the plot wants to fuck my ass, I am saved. Have I raised the flag? UE Sport Festival. Goal 1, place first on the run. Goal 2, don't get eliminated on the cavalry battle. Bonus Goal 1, place first on the cavalry battle. Goal 3, place first in the one-on-one fighting tournament. Bonus Goal 2, fight Todoroki at his maximum strength. Rewards, 500 tree points, 1 ticket, system function, 10 perk points, and 10 attribute gemstones. Bonus Reward 1, night class. Bonus Reward 2, suggestions, no magic or 2-op skills. I couldn't just shut up and say nothing? Now I have to complete the quest. I want to know what is behind those question marks, or else I will consider a failure by the system. My train of thought was interrupted by All Might gaining back his tongue. So, who do you all think was the MVP of the fight? He asked the students. It was Midoriya. Even though I can't share his battle plan, his fighting ability, weapon mastery, and ability to defend his companion are remarkable, Momo said in one big breath. You are correct. Young Midoriya rushed inside because he knew the location of Bakugo from his knowledge of him. And even though that might seem like cheating, it's not. A hero must use his knowledge and not only his muscles during a fight or an emergency. By using his knowledge, he was able to reduce the research time for the bomb by a lot. And I also approve his attempt of defending young Uraraka by using his body as a shield. A very heroic act, he said while raising his thumb towards me. I simply nodded and started speaking. Is there a place where I can shower? I am covered in things I don't to be covered in, I said while ruffling my hair and causing some ash to fall. Of course, in the same room where you changed there also is a bathroom attached. You can leave your hero's suit and weapon where you found them. They will be taken by the staff to be repaired, he said with a smile. I nodded and started heading towards the room, followed by Uraraka and Momo? Hey, can I help you? I asked her. Are you any good at using a staff? Considering my current skill set, titles, and other factors, even if I couldn't use them, it would take me not too long to reach her level, so should I tell her? Oh, who am I kidding? She is rich. I can use it in a fight. What other weapons can you use? Guns, swords, axes, daggers, spears, shields, halberds, and bows, but I can learn how to use other weapons pretty fast. That's more than I expected. Do you know my quirk? From what I saw, you can create everything you want by converting the fat from your body. I can understand the creating part, but how did you guess the fat part? She asked while taking a step back. I am quite skilled in how the human body works, and since something can't appear out of nothing since it would break the law of exchange, I watched you while you were creating the bike at the apprehension test, and saw how your checks were visible getting smaller, so I deduced that you were using fat from your body to create matter. But that was just a guess, that you now confirmed. She was stunned by words. Bullshit? I wasn't even watching her during the test, but thanks to my current charisma, Lupin skills, silver tongue, and spotless explanation, I saved myself from possible misunderstandings. Asterisks, I quite a wild guess, but still right. Anyway, I wanted to ask you if you could teach me to fight with different weapons. Help Momo. Goal: help Momo by teaching her how to fight. Each session must be of at least 1 hour, and she must gain the equivalent of a level each session in weapon mastery. Reward: 1 week attribute gemstone. Repeatable. I can pay you. Reward: 1 week attribute gemstone. Money. Sure, I would have accepted even without money. Her face glows with happiness, and after exchanging our numbers we part ways and I finally go take my deserved shower. Only to be stopped by another person, For fuck's sake. Chapter 39 Discussion. Hey, a feminine voice said from behind me. I turned towards it with a frown. Being tired of ash and blood is seriously starting to be annoying. In front of me I can see her pink hair and skin, her dark eyes, her revealing costume, her frown at seeing my face, her pupils dilating in fear, her left hand stopping her right hand from shaking. When she realized I was looking her straight in her eyes, she pointed her face towards the ground. Can I help you? I am in severe need of a shower. She lifts her head up, her eyes now back to normal, her face showing courage, her hand not shaking anymore, and she starts talking. I am sorry, she bluntly said. For being an asshole, for ghosting you, for leaving you after you saved me, for giving all the fault to you, but mostly for calling you a monster. She said in one quick breath, not stopping once, tears slowly starting to form in her eyes. I look at her, not really knowing what to say to her. I am no experienced in these types of experiences. I fought skeletons, wolves, and goblins, met Fenrir and attracted the attention of eldritch horror, but I don't know what to tell a girl after she is saying sorry. That's very me-like. We stayed in silence for an unknown amount of time, but I finally broke it. You were pretty shitty. She looks offended by the not expected words, but then a smile forms on her face. Excuse me? Aren't you supposed to say something like asterisk, don't worry my dear maiden, you have done nothing wrong. Now come here so I can comfort you in my great grasp asterisk? She said while imitating my voice. Nah, I am more like asterisk, oh my god, sir. Midoriya, please save me from this castle. I am just a weak princess who can produce acid from her body star dot. I said, imitating her voice, acting helping in producing a perfect imitation. Asshole. Bitch. Friends? I asked her. She nods and raises her hand for a fist bump. Friends. Now with a smile I finally head for the bathroom, this time much faster than before, not letting anyone stop me. After a well-deserved shower, I start changing while taking out from my holding bracelet the attributes gemstones. You have crashed a total of 5 weak attribute gemstones, 6 attribute gemstones. Weak. Intelligence plus 10. Intelligence at 99, 6 points will go to another stat. Charisma plus 6, Wisdom plus 5, Agility plus 8, Endurance plus 6, Willpower plus 10. Normal. Charisma plus 18, Endurance plus 19, Dexterity plus 16, Perception plus 15. Agility plus 13. Agility has reached the current cap. Strength plus 18. Strength has reached the current cap. 3 points will go to another stat. Endurance plus 3. Before closing the window and letting the rush of power fill my body, I open up the perk window, and using 3 points I buy the inhuman perks for agility, strength, and intelligence, leaving me with only a perk point left, so I decide to use it on the toughness perk. I finally closed all the windows, and the world changed, or was it the way I perceived it? How I am now able to think much faster than ever before, able to perceive every fiber of my body, understand how my hands have more strength than any human could ever wish to have, how my legs are able to muster so much force that normal grounds would turn to powder because of it, how my body has nearly reached a realm that no human has ever reached. My brain finally got used to its new speed, while my body stopped spamming because of the changes it was going through, making me able to finally move again. With a quick look in the mirror, I got surprised by what I saw. Thanks to my charisma finally reaching above 50, its effect was starting to fully show, my face becoming more chiseled and manly, while my body showed more finesse in its brute force, the changes caused by the strength also showing on my muscles, them becoming literally rock hard and chiseled like statues. Think of Takeda Oma and Guts fused together. Wanting to try out my new strength, and knowing that the walls of this room were not made with my normal materials, UA is still UA after all, I was about to throw a punch at the wall. But then I remember how much of a freak Niza was and got worried for the possibility of cameras watching me, so I stopped from punching the wall. What about the changes that already happened to my body? After the month I spent with Mirko, I noticed something, apart from people I interact without. Any other type of individual would see my growth as something normal, sure surprising, but possible. They would get surprised by my change, but no one would really question it. At the start, I thought it was because of their stupidity, but then it got too obvious. So I came to the possibility that the system is pulling some time of mindfuckery and letting everyone think that this is normal. Well, bad for them, and good for me, fewer problems I have to worry about. I dressed back in the UA training clothes and headed for the control room just in time for the end of the last round. When I arrived, I noticed Uraraka looking at me, so I walked towards her. "Feeling better?" she asked me. "Much better. You wouldn't imagine the places where that ashes had gotten stuck in," I replied to her question. "Yeah, I can't. You basically became my shield and protected me even from air touching me. You know I can fight, right?" "I do, but what that idiot used against me would have caused more damage than necessary to you, so I decided to help and stop him. But I only stopped him. You could have fought against Ida if you wished." "You are right, but at the same time it makes me angry," she said with a pout. We waited for the arrival of the one fighting, and while they were discussing the MVP of the round, I asked something to Uraraka. "So no hug?" She visibly blushed, and I approached the group with a smile, leaving the red tomato behind. Chapter 40, Telling the Truth, edited. The school day had just finished. After saying goodbye to everyone, I intended to again head to the new dungeon I had found, with the intention of completing it. But before I could go out of the school grounds, someone stopped me by grabbing me from the shoulder. "Aizawa, can I help you?" I asked him. "The principal wants to have a talk with you." My blood run cold. If there was a being that I was scared of apart from the big guys, it was that fucking dog bear mouse genius of a principal. He is literally a beast, no other way to describe him, and his hate for human, in general, is clearly visible even in the anime. Until now everything, apart from some minor details, had gone like anime or manga. But this sudden event changed everything. The possibility of the attack at the USJ going wrong, villains attacking during the sports festival, summer camp going way worse than how it already has. And what can I do to prevent them? To stop them? Doesn't matter how strong I currently am. Doesn't matter how much I can tank. Doesn't matter how hard I can hit. Against the big guys or villains with broken quirks, I am nothing more than a nuisance. But what can I do? Hoping for something broken to come out of the gacha is like asking for the all-for-one to die because he choked on a piece of chicken. For now, let's just see what he wants. And what felt like a few seconds to me, actually was just a second for Aizawa, so I was able to quickly answer him without any delay. "As much as I would ask the reason behind such a sudden request, I will follow you, sure that something important must be happening for something like this to be requested." He simply nodded and started walking back towards the school. I followed right behind him, thinking of possible scenarios of how this could go, and ways I could escape in case of emergencies, my brain going overdrive. I seriously attracted too much attention. I wanted to show off, but by doing so I am putting too many questions in everyone's minds. I was seriously too stupid. By the time I had finally reached the room where Nisa should be, I had calmed down and resigned that I couldn't predict how this would go. "Get inside," a childlike voice said from inside the room. Aizawa opened the door and let me inside first, following behind and then closing the door behind him, blocking the only normal way out. I am more than ready to jump out the window if needed, and we are on the 12th floor. In front of me was the buffed form of All Might and the Beast, Nisa holding a cup of tea, looking at me. All Might's stare was one of concern, Nisa's one was one of curiosity, staring at me like a guinea pig. "Student Izuku Midoriya, what an honor to finally meet the first quirkless student of our school. I have heard great things about you." Nisa's voice was neutral, and his control over his emotions is genuinely monstrous. I wish I had a way to see his intelligence and willpower, surely above or around the 500. "The honor is mutual. I had made some research about the current principal of UA, came from nothing, literally, and was able to rise to one of the most powerful positions in the world," I said, showing him that I already knew about his existence, and that playing the friendly animal wouldn't work. "I hope all great things, but now let's move on," he said, clearly catching on my words. "The reason why you are here is very simple. After a serious discussion with Mirko, we came to the realization that even though you are quirkless, you have several quirks-like abilities, going from your hard bones, boosted muscle growth, peak human strength, speed, intelligence, agility, superhuman endurance, numbness to pain, something similar to an ability to give yourself an adrenaline shot, and by what I have read, the harder you get hit, the harder you hit. Is there anything you want to say about all of this?" I flinched for a second. I felt it. The true meaning behind those words, the implications that he was assuming, how All might be ready to apprehend me in less than a second, how Aizawa had stopped blinking for already few seconds. Lying would only lead me to a worse situation. I know the character of all these three. Apart from Nisa, I am sure I could bullshit both of them. But that guy is too much of a monster to be easily tricked. But you know what they say, the perfect lie is a lie made with some of the truth. What if I told you I have a quirk? If you told me that information, I would love to hear how you got it, and what type of quirk it is. Your quirk can be considered as your brain evolving so that it could be more intelligent, reaching a point that no human has ever reached before. But if I told you that my quirk can surpass you? What if I told you my quirk can make me reach a level of strength comparable to All Might? Go on. His eyes stared at me with even more interest. Around a month ago, I started noticing something. Everything was becoming easier: running, studying, training, moving, thinking. You name it, I could do it better than before in a few seconds. My body grew at monstrous rates, my brain also keeping up with that monstrous increase in its own way. So if I had to define my quirk under a specific name, I would simply call it adapting. That would explain how you got your strength. But is there any way to show you are saying the truth? The easiest way is to pick a random subject, give a book about it, and in maybe 30 minutes I could already be considered average in it. After staring for another minute, he pressed a button under his desk and one of the metal walls suddenly shifted to an enormous library with around 1,000 books. Aizawa, pick a random book. Aizawa headed for the library, the silence in the room weighing more than everything I have ever lifted, and after 5 minutes he came back with a book in hand. How a Gentleman Should Act, Guide for the Perfect Man. After taking a big breath, I started reading and hoped for the best, not knowing that this would have been a great opportunity that lead me to my power ascension.
Akira here, this is the end of part 2. If you enjoyed the story, we would appreciate it if you liked the video. Also, please support the original author for this amazing work. I have put their Patreon and the web novel link in the description. Thank you and have a great day.